Hello, welcome to this video on solving quadratic equations by factorising. In this video we're only going to deal with the type of quadratic equation where we've got 1x squared. You'll need to see the other video for ones that involve 2x squared, 5x squared, etc. So let's start with this one. When we factorise, we put the quadratic into two brackets. That is when we've got x squared, something x plus a number. Now I know, because that's a plus and that's a plus, both of these are going to be pluses. Then my next task is to think of numbers that multiply to make 5. Well, I've only got one combination here, 1 and 5. And I check, well, do these add up to make 6? Because they've got to add to make this number. And they do. So we need numbers that multiply to make 5 and add to make 6. And it's factorised. So we've started off with quite a nice easy one there. Then I solve it. Now, anything times 0 gives me 0. So I've just got to make these brackets 0. Now, to make that bracket 0, hopefully you'll see that if x equals -1, the bracket is 0. And if here x equals -5, you'll see the bracket is 0. So here's my solutions. X is -1 or x is -3. -5. Now, here's another one. This time we've got to make -10 multiply to make -10. And we've got an add there. When you've got one of this type with a negative at the end, we know we're going to have x plus something, x take away something. Now, let's look at the numbers that multiply to make 10. We've got 1 and 10, 2 and 5. Now watch out for this type. If it's a plus and a minus, we're looking for the difference being 3. So something take away something equals 3. Well, 10 take away 1 is going to give me 9, so that's no good. 5 take away 2 does give me 3. So 5 minus 2. So it's all about finding numbers that multiply to make the last bit here, so in this case 10, and either add or take away to make the middle bit. It all depends on these signs. The key is doing lots of examples. X equals -5, -5 if you like, and then x equals +2. Remember, to get your solutions, you've got to make your brackets 0. To make that one 0, x will equal -5, and there x equals 2. Well, let's have a look at this one. Well, again, we've got a negative there, so I've got a plus and a minus. I do 12, 1, 12, this is my first job already, 2, 3 and 4, that's it. And I notice this. Well, look at that. I always advise putting a little 1 there so you know what you're doing. So plus and minus, I know I need a difference of 1. Well, that's no good, but that is good. I want -1 though. 3 minus 4. 3, +3 minus 4 will give me -1. So, there's our solutions. X equals -3 and x equals +4. There you go. Have a look at that. Have a look at what's been done. You're going to see similar ones to that when you do your practice. Make sure you know what you're doing. X squared plus x minus 90 equals 0. Let's put a 1 there. It's always good practice. Now that's a negative, so I'm going to have x plus something, x minus something equals 0. Well, 90, there's quite a few, aren't there? For 90, there's loads. 1 and 90, 2 and 45, 3 and 30. Well, 4 doesn't go into it, but 5 does. 18 times. 6 goes in, 15 times, no 7, no 8, but 9 does go in 10 times. Well, look at that, positive 1, plus and minus, so we're dealing with a difference here. Let's have a look. So we've got, that's no good, 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 but that is good because we've got a difference of 1. So 10 minus 9 gives me my positive 1, so plus 10 minus 9. Get my solutions, x is minus 10 and x is positive 9. You've got to make the brackets equal to 0. Let's just do a couple more. There you go. Well, positive and a negative. You might be able to do this by now. Hopefully you're thinking, yep, let's deal with 60. So 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20, 4 and 15, 5 and 12, 6 and 10. There you go, 6 and 10. There's your difference of 4, and it's negative, so it'd be 6 minus 10. 6 minus 10 gives me my negative 4. So x is negative 6. Hopefully you got the idea of making the bracket 0, and x equals 10. So when one of the brackets is 0, the whole thing multiplies to make 0. Now, x squared plus 8x minus 9. 2 brackets for this one. We're trying to multiply to make 9. It's going to be a positive and a negative. So let's think we've got 1 and 9, 3 and 3. Hopefully you immediately see, well, 1 and 9, 9 minus 1. So x is negative 9 and x is positive 1. Now I suppose one type we haven't done is where you've got a negative in the middle and a positive at the end. So let's just do one more. So let's imagine x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Now here we're going to have 2 negatives. This is one to be really careful with. We're going to have 2 negatives because we need them to add together to make a negative number and multiply to make a positive. So when it's a negative there and a positive there, it's got to be 2 negatives. We then have a look at what we need to make 12. Well, 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Bet you see that already. So you've got negative 3, negative 4, that gives you negative 7. Multiply together to make your positive 12. X equals 3, x equals 4. I'll just show you one more of those. X minus, let's see, x minus 9x plus 18 equals 0. Again, 2 negatives. Let's have a look at 18. We've got 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6. Which one? Yep, that's right. 3 and 6 will give you 9. So negative 3, negative 6. X equals 3 and x equals 6. Right, we've gone through a lot of examples there and hopefully they're helpful. I'd advise going back through them again and then doing lots of practice. Hope that's helpful. Bye.